Welcome to another podcast presentation from the Zenith Corporation.
May I have your attention, please? Your podcast will begin in just a few moments. Upon arrival of your podcast, please enter and move across the aisle, filling every available seat. Remember, all listeners are required to wear their safety restraints while on board. Please keep your hands inside the podcast at all times and enjoy your ride.
Hello everyone, welcome back to In Out Delete, the show where we review both new and older movies. This is Gino.
This is Robert.
America.
Ricardo.
And Gino. I already said myself again. I don't know why. It's because Gio's not here. I'm sorry. It's because Gio's not here. You know, he's not in today, but you know what? It's fine. This week we watched Sonic the Hedgehog and my pick, which is Touch of Evil.
Yeah.
Ooh. I know.
What year was this released again?
1958.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty old movie. I know we were supposed to watch Gio's pick, but he's not in, so it's my pick this time. So we skipped them. Next week will be Monty Python's The Holy Grail. But let's take a little snippet of Sonic the Hedgehog.
So, as I crashed into the cold, dark water of the Pacific, I realized a few things. A, I have no idea where I'm going. B, saltwater stings. C, I shouldn't even be on this planet right now, but I am. Why? Because you shot me.
I know.
You shot me!
All right, I heard you the first time. You don't have to pile it on. Good grief.
I'm wet, I'm cold, there's a fish on my head, and clearly I'm not gonna be able to do this on my own.
All right, get in the truck.
Really? You're gonna help me?
I guess it is a little bit my fault that all this is happening to you.
Not a little bit, entirely. It is entirely your
Okay,
fault.
it's entirely my fault. Are you coming?
Yes. Road trip? Whoop whoop!
What am I doing?
All right, so this week's new movie is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Who directed it?
Starring.
Directed by Jeff Fowler. I have no idea who that is. Starring Ben Schwartz as the voice of Sonic, who is John Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah.
And James Marsden, the
Cyclops.
and the wimpy boyfriend in Superman.
Yeah.
And of course Jim Carrey, the great Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
is back. All right, guys, Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a movie based on a video game.
Uh-huh.
I'll go first since I was ready to hate this movie
Okay.
last week. I was dreading the experience going to watch it.
Me too.
I am in.
What?
I thought this movie worked. I didn't want to murder myself while watching it. So to me, that's a win.
That
is
It has a decent story, a
Alright.
good enough story to carry me through.
Yeah.
Ben Schwartz, I thought he really gave life to Sonic. I thought he did great.
Okay.
Jim Carrey, it was nice to see him cut loose again, even though he's kind of crazy now. But I overall was pleasantly surprised. I mean, there are things that I'm like, please, for the love of God, stop. But yeah, Gino, what did you think? You're a video game fan, right?
Yeah, and I actually am a huge Sonic fan.
Are you?
You are?
Yeah, I was one of the guys who loved Mario Brothers, Nintendo, and Sega Genesis Sonic. So it's like
both.
I was
don't know
both.
what that means.
Yeah,
It was either one or the other back in the day.
Yeah, it's like I was the peacekeeper in the middle. Like I love both.
I couldn't afford both.
I was a Nintendo kid.
I was a spoiled brat. My parents used their credit cards hardcore on me, which I pay them back.
Still paying them now.
Still paying them back. And I can say I'm in as well.
Yeah?
Almost an out, but I'm an in.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm glad that the guy who played Sonic did a great job. His voice did amazing with the character.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the cartoons in the early 90s, if you guys remember those.
Nope.
Well, whatever. And I'm looking forward if they make a sequel. And I really want to see Jim Carrey again. Jim Carrey, I agree. I missed the Jim Carrey, like the wacky cookie Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
On screen, not outside of the screen.
Sonic Reloaded.
Yeah.
Everybody's hating on Jim Carrey? Or
No,
what?
it's just he's
We're
kind
just
of
worried about him.
Yes. Well, I am worried about him. But again, I'm in. But fuck Cyclops. He kind of pissed me off in the movie. We'll talk about that in a bit.
All right, America, what did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh my gosh, I'm so in.
Oh, of course you
The
are.
movie was
Dude,
hilarious.
this movie was a lot like Shrek.
No, I don't know. Like, yeah, the movie's kind of dumb. There's, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's so silly. that it's so fun.
It's
I
charming.
yeah. And I liked Sonic. I know Ricardo was telling me that he was annoyed of Sonic at some points, but I was like, nah, he's like this little like kid character type of thing. So
it's a movie for kids.
I don't know. Yeah, kids are definitely gonna love it. I mean, if I liked it, I don't know who's not gonna like it.
Yeah,
You're right.
I do
I
have
am
the mind
fucking
of a
Grinch.
child. Yes.
That is that's true.
Ricardo,
Yeah, same thing with all you guys.
You're
I
in.
am in on
Oh,
this one.
sweep.
Yeah, sweep on this one. Fucking Sonic though. There was points where it started getting annoying, but you're right. He is just a kid, right?
Yeah.
And he's fucking up
like
and
a
everything.
kid on.
Dude.
has ADD.
Yeah, and like sometimes I was just, but I wasn't annoyed of just like him, like how they made it. I was annoyed of like if I was in that situation, I was like, Sonic, shut the fuck up sometimes, you know, like dude, I'm trying to help you here. But the main thing that made me in was Jim Carrey.
Of course.
Yeah,
Come on,
dude.
I
It was
love
a
Jim
lot. I was a lot of
Dude.
fun.
Yeah,
he was
dude.
really funny.
He
yeah.
was so funny,
Yeah.
and I'm like he's like my favorite, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like most of our favorites, right? Like
Yeah.
Jim Carrey. So when I saw him like this, he's been doing.
It took us
serious.
back.
Yeah,
to-
dude.
Yeah,
Oh my
it
the
god.
glory
did.
days.
He still looks good. Like body wise too. Like you know how like older people like Martin Lawrence get fat?
Yeah.
Dude, this fool stays skinny,
What are you
dude.
fat shaming now?
Wow.
No, but you get it, right? Like they look older.
I don't know, bro.
But he stayed Jim Carrey,
I'm
dude.
not quite understanding what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with the movie.
No,
either, but-
like sometimes that bothers me when they look a certain way now. Like it's just like
It bothers you that people age?
They age and they don't like and they
He's
try to
not
do the
saying
same
no.
thing. You know, they're trying to do the same.
Like Robert De Niro trying to beat up a guy.
Exactly.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
9
Like
years
come on,
old.
that's not gonna
Yeah.
work, you know. But Jim Carrey made it work, and oh my god, it
Dude,
brought me
he's
back so
Yeah,
much.
his-
And I miss that Jim Carrey too. So
One of the reasons that I was ready to hate this movie is because I think maybe that's the only reason I was ready to hate this movie, because of Jim Carrey. In
Oh.
the trailer, I thought it looked like he looked annoying. He looked like that Lazy Town, or what was that show?
Oh,
He looked
I
like
know what
that
you're
kid,
talking
and I like that man, the blue guy.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
my god, the mustache.
I hate that show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
God, I don't. It's some kids show that even I was too old for.
Nickelodeon, yeah.
Yeah, but it was like so creepy and cringy, and just like it made you feel weird. And I thought Jim Carrey was gonna be like super cringy,
Yeah.
but yeah, he did really, really good. He was so fucking funny.
I think
Like-
because the material was like pretty decent, that gives them a lot to like play with. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And they just let him loose. You know,
Completely. You
I'm
could
pretty
tell.
sure they just rolled the camera
like,
and
Yeah.
he was
Dude,
just-
Jim,
yeah,
bro.
he was into it. And because you're kind of into the story, that you just enjoy it. You know.
Yeah.
There are some plot holes. I mean, I know I'm looking for fucking plot holes in a kids movie,
Yeah.
but his whole thing is that he has to get to San Francisco, right? And that's
Yeah.
why it's like a road
Dude,
trip
yeah.
movie.
Yes.
Motherfucker, like, he could get there in 2 seconds.
I know.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Get a fucking map and
Yeah.
show that motherfucker where it is, and
Yeah.
end of the movie.
Boom.
You know?
Yeah.
I had to overlook that, obviously, but
Dude, and
No.
that-
And there's a
that-
lot of weird cuts in the movie
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
editing's a little off. There's the part where his San Francisco shirt,
Mhm.
he's not wearing it in the next shot, and it just disappears forever.
Oh, that's
Oh
right.
my God, I
She
didn't
told
catch
me, and I was
that.
like, "Oh shit, you're right. Like it just
Like-
happened. He doesn't have the
Like,
shirt."
right
noticed
after he
it.
tranquilized Sonic.
I noticed it like not quickly though. I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
noticed
He
it.
didn't have it anymore.
Fucking
Because he
Yeah.
does bring it up again.
He says,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's like,
on your
yeah.
skin tight San Francisco shirt. And he's not wearing it anymore. And it's the same time.
Huh.
Like, no other, it
Yeah,
hasn't been days.
yeah.
It hasn't been
Dude, and then
anything
the-
else.
Maybe when because you know how they brought out the trailer and everybody fucking hated what Sonic
Yeah.
looked like,
Yeah.
so they had
Oh,
to
yeah.
send it
Yeah.
back to VFX and they changed it. Maybe they changed the shirt as well.
The guy got a new shirt.
Dude, and then there's
What
other
did he look
scenes.
like before?
He looked weird, kind of.
Yeah, they completely redesigned it, which I don't understand why they would do that. Like
Yeah.
I get that you want to be like whatever. I'm sure it was the director's call, right?
Yeah.
He wants to have his own artistic freedom, and that's fine. But you're making a movie about a video game that everybody loved
Yeah.
back in the day. They
Oh,
have
yeah.
a lot of nostalgia for, right? You've seen how crazy fans get at every little thing,
Oh, yeah.
right?
They fuck.
why the fuck would you change the design? You know, when it already looks like a cartoon.
No,
Like, what were they thinking?
You know what? I'm very glad that this is creepy. Look at this.
I agree.
Like,
I don't like that at all.
He doesn't look good.
Like, they're
This
trying to make
would
him look
scare
real,
your
but what's the
child.
point?
No,
you know?
he doesn't look real. He looks animated
that's
now.
right, but
he looks
yeah.
good. He looks soft.
Yeah.
He looks
Yeah.
fluffy. He looks round.
It makes you buy into
You
the
like
world
him.
a lot
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy, a monito for myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Of the original one, I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy that shit. That's scary.
You would not buy this.
That is
You'll
scary.
buy that.
That is scary.
Yeah.
Bro, like, think
So-
about it. Like,
Dude, he had nostrils. He had like big nostrils.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
They were trying to make him look like a real animal. I think.
Yeah.
And human at the same time. But you know what? I admit, I rather have that cartoonish, because if you think about it, have you guys seen that movie, that Looney Tunes Back in Action?
Yeah.
That I kind of saw it like this, a cartoon version, and like looks realistic in the real world.
Yeah.
I rather
exactly.
have that than super realistic, where his hands are
Yeah.
not gloves, it's white hands, and he has Nikes instead of like regular red like running shoes.
That's how they should approach these things, you know. Don't try to make it like Lion King and
Lion
shit.
King.
We're
Oh,
super
yeah.
realistic because it's a fucking video game. Just play into it. You know,
Exactly.
I think Pikachu did a good job with that too.
Yeah.
I know you guys didn't like it, but like
I
just
loved
No,
it.
yeah.
just fucking show it for what it is. You know,
Yeah.
don't try to change it. And the poor VFX people that had to change it,
Dude.
like
Yeah.
their studio is bankrupt.
I
now.
don't
For
think
sure,
that's
dude.
crazy.
That
I don't
You're
think
right.
that had to,
You're
because this was
right.
supposed to be released last year, right? And then
Yeah,
it
they
didn't
pushed
get
it
released
back,
because
yeah.
of that. So that's like a
It
whole
took a
year,
year.
of
Yeah.
time.
The little cuts, he's fucking fast.
No, you're
So
right.
imagine the
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah,
So
dude.
speaking of, yeah, it sucks. Speaking of video games, it's a movie based on a video game. And I think everybody pretty much agrees that Super Mario Brothers is the greatest movie based on a video game ever made.
Still never seen it.
Bob Hoskins and John
where,
Leguizamo.
where does this rank in your video game movies?
Well,
I've seen
I
none
can
of them,
say
so-
this
Yeah.
because Mario for sure is number
Mario's
one.
number one. Mario the motion picture, number
course.
one. Nothing's ever gonna beat
It's
it.
nostalgia.
It's the Citizen Kane of video game
Oh
movies.
God, don't ever say that.
Yes.
God, no.
What about
Oh,
Mortal
God.
Kombat 2, man?
What?
Annihilation? That's number two.
What
That would
about,
be number
Resident,
two.
what about the
dude.
Resident Evil? One of
That's
the,
up there as well. Yes, there's been a lot of great ones. America's completely bored.
Yeah, I just yawned.
Where would you rank this, Gina? Because you're a video game fan.
Of course, Mario Brothers is number one because of nostalgia reasons. Number two is Resident Evil 1. Oh no, Resident Evil Apocalypse. That's the second one. That's because it has Nemesis, had Jill Valentine. What does the first one have?
Trash.
Shut it. And of course, Sonic would be number three just because. Oh no, because Mortal Kombat would be number three.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be like the
Dude,
top five.
Mortal
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mortal Kombat's my favorite one, though.
I think I would rank it Mortal Kombat number one,
right?
Mortal Kombat Annihilation number two,
Oh God.
No, dude.
Resident Evil.
Annihilation number
Yeah, those flip flop all the time. Yeah.
That shit is hilarious. I don't know where we put
I was
this
just
one.
a joke about Super Mario Brothers. By the way,
it's
that
still
movie's
nostalgia.
horrible.
It is.
But
You
that made
seen
me
it?
think too.
No, I haven't. But
That
I
made me
know
think
the
too.
whole thing
Okay,
about it.
that movie came out, Super Mario Brothers. Everybody
93,
fucking
no?
hated it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was trash, buried. Everybody
Crazy.
fucking hates it.
Yeah.
I imagine if that movie was made today, they would release a trailer
Mm-hmm.
and the internet would lose their shit.
and,
Yeah.
then, like,
And that movie would
stop
never
production.
reach the light of day. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Like the power of the internet today?
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
You never seen
I
it?
mean, they
I
still
know
put
you've
out
seen
things.
it as a kid.
Maybe it would be out like on the Sci-Fi Channel or something, because there's Sharknado 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, but
That's
just
true.
the
You know,
name.
and
Because
people watch
It's
those.
so big already.
Yeah.
It's a big name, so like, yeah.
It's the only
Oh,
thing it
I
had
don't know, then.
in common with the actual video game was the name.
Yeah, the storyline
So
was
was they-
off a bit.
Dude.
I mean, I don't even. Does Super Mario have a storyline? I don't know.
Well, that's why. But here's the thing: neither does
does.
Sonic, right?
No,
Sonic, the video game, doesn't have a storyline, so
He's-
they
Yeah.
created this.
he's just a
bogus
hedgehog
story.
that runs really fast,
Yeah.
collect gold
Oh,
rings.
I actually like that. At the beginning, how they kind of give a little backstory
Yeah.
of this is why you have to go away and you're just in this world all by yourself. I
Yeah.
like that because they could have easily not put that in there, but then maybe you would be like, "How did
Why
he
are you
get
here?"
here?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and they didn't spend too much time on it. They just kind of made it simple and easy and like whatever. There you
Dude,
go.
this
So
is
it's
another
cool
thing.
because they also could have gone the route of making a whole fucking movie around his origin story,
That's
which would have
true.
been trash. I
Yeah.
hate when they do that to like introduce you
Yeah.
and then make it. Yeah.
At the end,
So-
he's Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't do
Dude, but like I remember that's another thing that was kind of bothering me. That you know how like the little rings and it opens and you just go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so fast that they even did like when they're falling,
Yeah.
right? So that's how fast it is. So he's in his cave, and then he's like, oh, I gotta go to a safe spot to use my fucking ring.
Because,
why can't you just do it there?
Because they were like, so it's like if I'm next to you and the portal's still open, you can still catch up and get in.
It closes right away though.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Do you know why though? Then the movie wouldn't happen.
I know.
I was thinking the
Plot
same.
holes.
I know.
No, I thought the same thing.
Because I was like, whoa, what's going on? Why is
No,
he
because like when the owl mom like throws a little ring and then
It stays open
like,
for a while.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
then and he runs back and then it closes. You know,
Yeah.
so you
Oh,
have
that's
a big
another
chunk
thing.
of time.
He runs back, but he doesn't run back. Like he's so
Oh
fast.
yeah, why didn't he? He could have made it.
So many plot holes
Yeah,
in this
but-
movie.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
the
it's
bar scene though. Like when
Mm.
he's in the truck and he's looking out and he's like, "That looks like a fun party,"
Yeah.
and then like the whole thing
Oh, with
happens.
the bottle?
I fucking loved all of that.
I didn't know
Oh
you did.
my
That was a fun scene. That was a
It
fun
was.
scene.
Oh my god. It
One
was
thing
hilarious.
that made me want to kill myself,
Oh shit.
the product placement.
Oh
That
yeah.
was so. I mean, I know there's product placement in every
Yeah.
movie, but
Mhm.
holy shit, man, they didn't even try to hide it.
Nope.
It's
Mhm.
like Sonic the Hedgehog presented by Olive Garden.
Yeah.
It's like
All over that
holy shit, man. Like that wasn't even like it's crazy.
Unlimited
But it worked,
salads
dude.
and,
It worked.
and bread
It worked because like after I went, you know,
shit.
Olive Garden, they even had a promotion where if you showed your ticket stub, you get free food.
Shut up.
I took it, but here's the thing: like it only applied to the kids menu, so I only got myself a pizza and some chicken tenders. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
Also Toyota.
Yeah.
Toyota candle.
Zillow.
Oh
Zillow?
yeah, dude, that one was the
it's funny because
funniest.
like that scene is like it's shot like a commercial.
yeah.
Like I wonder
Oh,
if this
yeah.
director came from commercials because it looked and felt
this
like
whole
a
time
commercial.
it was Fred Durst.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
who
you know what they're
directed
trying
it.
to do? They're trying to get their money back. So they're using all that shit.
Well,
to,
no,
like,
I mean
You don't get that much
product
money
placement
from-
is
It's just like,
it's
hey,
common, yeah.
I thought
yeah.
it was advertisement.
Well,
So, like,
I
No, they
mean,
do
it
pay
is,
them.
but
They
it's-
do
it's
get
like,
money for it.
So I'm the writer, director, producer, whatever the fuck, you know, and you're a company, and I'm like, hey, Ricardo, or
No,
I'm
I get
gonna
it,
use
I
you,
get it.
yeah, but and you could just say like, yeah, you'll use my product, like I'm not gonna pay you.
Dave, with the Zillow thing though, when
Yeah.
it came
Yeah.
out,
Yeah,
people
dude.
were clapping. Remember?
What?
Yes. Oh my, dude, we went to see it at the ArcLight in Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
I fucking love that place, and the audience was laughing the entire time. But anytime that stuff happened, like
Yeah.
the Zillow, like
Yeah.
everyone went
It was
crazy.
so
yeah, dude.
And it's funny because the one at the end, I saw it coming, and I was like, "Oh
Wait,
my
which one was
god!"
the one at the end?
Cause like the government guy says like the government wants to show their appreciation.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I was like, I know it's fucking coming here. like,
That's just hilarious though.
that's so. I mean, it's so horrible though. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Dude,
imagine Parasite. It was like, it was like,
Fuck.
hey, let's go to McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
you know,
Shout it
like-
out.
Yeah. Get down a little. Oh, but you know what? And it's funny because even they like the general's like, and you get unlimited pasta deal.
Yeah.
They have that. I'm like, thanks for reminding me, dude.
That's
Now
why
I'm
it
fucking-
worked.
I'm gonna go get some pasta.
Yeah.
right now.
And it was cool to, like she was saying, that we saw it in the ArcLight, and then people were into it, you know. And I guess it's Valentine's Day. So
Yeah.
people were like,
Oh,
they're
that's
couples,
why,
yeah.
yeah.
So there was no kids.
I
so-
saw it with a bunch of kids.
I saw
Oh,
a
you
bunch
did?
of kids too.
Yeah, we saw it with couples, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And like, it was cool because Jim Carrey comes out. Fucking everybody starts
Yeah.
clapping,
Oh, yeah.
dude. That shit
Yeah.
was too good. I felt
That would have been
felt
cool
it.
to like be in like, cause my theater was into it, but it was mostly kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when Jim Carrey comes out, like the adults go yay, and the kids are like,
Yeah, like,
okay.
Yeah,
Like,
who
they
is
don't care.
this?
Who is
Yeah.
that?
Who's this old man?
It's the Grinch, man.
I
It's
didn't
the
think it had
Grinch.
enough like humor that, like, because it's mostly adults that are gonna take their kids for it,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And the most you could ask for is something that they could sit through too, right? That their kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not only their kids are gonna be the only ones that enjoy it, and
Mhm.
I think the adults will enjoy it.
Dude,
Yeah.
and then like Sonic's so fast that you know how these kids now they're fucking fast too.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
this is for them, man.
No, that's so dumb. Oh.
But
I-
okay, and I was thinking too, like, okay, let's say what age would be like the perfect age? Because I remember thinking
26, because I loved it.
like, no, but I was thinking like, oh, like if I was 8, would I like it more?
Probably, I would be into this. If
Yeah,
I
I
was a
would-
kid.
I
I
think,
mean,
Like
yeah.
love it or like it or I don't
I
even
think
know.
I would
I
have
would-
really liked this
yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
Right, Jim
5,
Carrey, though.
6, 7, 8, yeah.
9, 10, 11,
12.
31.
You know what? And like Jim Carrey too, man. Like I love how when he comes into the scene, he's taking over the scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
And like
He
and it's
stole
the
it.
smallest thing ever. Like you're dumb, and I'm smarter than you, and we're all dying,
Yeah.
like laughing. And the way he like, when he talks down to that general guy in the beginning,
My favorite joke was I was spitting out formulas while you were drinking.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the dance scene.
Yeah,
that
was really
was
good.
so
Yeah.
good too.
That's what I'm saying. They just rolled the camera.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Dude, how it
And the
ended too.
music- I
How
don't know, man, it was-
the dance scene ended was so funny,
Yeah.
dude. You remember?
Oh,
yeah.
when he gets bitten by the dinosaur and he just starts like dancing like he's headless. Oh man, that was
Oh,
dope.
yeah.
That was dope. And
Dude,
you know,
dude, just let 'em.
I literally thought he was gonna play Gangster's Paradise in that moment, and I was like, oh, that'd be dope. And all of a sudden, this is different. I'm like, really?
Too bad he's fucking crazy now, though.
He's not crazy.
Yes, he
He's
is.
a bit
Haven't
kooky,
you
bro.
seen?
I
He's
seen
an
him, I seen him.
anti-vaxxer. He's like, yeah.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Apparently, yeah.
Have
When
you-
he was dating with Jenny McCarthy. Yeah.
Have you seen that documentary about him playing
Jim and
Andy Kaufman?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that guy. He's fucking cool.
He's fucking insane.
But that's not it. No, isn't it recently that he's?
I think
been
it's all
crazy?
part of that.
No, but like,
No.
okay,
But
that was
Didn't
his
he go out
acting.
into the woods for like 3 months or something and do like
No, but like,
everything?
okay,
possible?
like when he's talking in that documentary.
Yeah.
he's cool. He's like,
No, but he's talking about like the fucking universe and
he's not
shit,
crazy. I think he's
Yeah,
just
I don't like those people
he's
either.
Yeah.
high, you know.
Whatever it is.
But I seen that documentary. I love it. Like, you seen it? You guys seen
It
it?
made
seen
me
it, I
look
seen
at him
it.
very different.
I liked it
No,
more. I liked it
didn't.
more,
I didn't
dude.
look
Because
at
I
it
don't
different.
like the whole like we're turning this into a Jim Carrey talk.
I love Jim
But I don't
Carrey.
like method acting when people like
Me
act like they're
too.
characters. And he was
I
making his
hate it.
crew
Dude,
feel like shit.
feel like
to
shit.
me, that's not right. I don't give a fuck who you are,
I
who you're
know.
playing. You don't do that shit.
Dude,
you
and then
know?
like,
Okay, fine.
That's why every time someone's like, "Oh my god, he was so method."
Yeah,
Shut
fuck that shit.
up.
The fuck
Yeah,
out of
dude.
here.
All
with
that means
Yeah.
is that you were a fucking pretentious asshole
Yep.
who thought that you're so much better than everyone, and you're just gonna like live the life that this other person did because they were so great, and you're gonna get every nomination possible because you are just as great
Yeah.
as they are. Like, no.
Get the fuck out of here
Yeah.
with that shit.
No, yeah,
And
I
it makes me
hate
lose
it.
respect for
Yeah,
people.
Really?
I
honestly,
hate
Yeah.
if you were making somebody feel like shit when they're just trying to do their job. That to me is not right.
Yeah,
So-
but
Because
when-
when have
yeah.
you ever heard of a method actor that was like just became like an insanely like generous
Nice guy or
person?
something.
Like,
Yeah, no,
oh my
it's all
god, he
bullshit.
adopted everyone
Yeah,
ever.
they
Daniel
just want to
Day-Lewis.
treat people like
Yeah.
shit.
Daniel Day-Lewis is one.
Oh yeah, that's
Wait,
true.
who?
And,
Daniel
and what's her
Day-Lewis,
name?
that's
Meryl
American.
Streep. She does that too.
I don't think she does
No,
method
I don't
acting.
think Meryl Streep
Meryl
does it.
You know who
acts
does
like
it
Meryl
too?
Streep.
Fucking Johnny Depp too.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Anyways, I don't like that. I don't
like
like
Johnny
using
Depp.
that as an excuse to treat people like shit.
No, yeah,
he
that's
did.
Fucking Jared Leto, the one that
Yeah, get
people
the
saw
fuck
through
out
the
of here.
most.
Come on,
Yeah.
Jared Leto. Yeah, that one
Okay,
was.
but,
Yeah.
okay, but it's the same shit.
No,
It's the
that's
same
what I was
mentality.
gonna say. Yeah, like he was younger and everything. That's what I'm saying. Like, I heard that he didn't want to take this footage off because everybody's gonna think he's an asshole, right? So obviously he was like ashamed or something. But
I think it was more for the
You should
execs.
be.
and he
'cause didn't
he
wanna
did
lose
it
money.
once. You know, he just did it that one time, and it's that's why I was saying like maybe he was like annoying and everything, but the way they did the documentary and how he saw it and he's explaining it and he's
I
like,
mean, it was an interesting documentary.
yeah,
like,
dude,
but
I loved it.
it made me look at him differently.
Yeah, because when you're thinking like Jim Carrey only did it once, this one instance, which was the documentary.
Yeah.
How long does it take to shoot a documentary or anything? You
I
know,
don't know.
for you could
Years,
have been doing
yeah,
it
year.
for a long time, and
They
so you're
hated
just
him.
being an asshole.
Dude,
this
the
whole
wrestler hates that guy.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And he even
dude.
said, like, you claim you're acting like Andy Kaufman,
But
but I knew him and he
he
wasn't,
wasn't
like
like
that.
that. Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so he's full of shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I
But
don't like that. But I like this movie.
I still love Jim
Yeah.
Carrey though.
I-
Dude, but
I still
Jim
do
Carrey
too.
is so. Have you seen the Mr. Rogers show that he has? What is it called?
No, the kidding.
Kidding,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
He's good, man.
Yeah,
Good.
like he's
It's really good.
Oh,
He's-
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the second season.
He's good. I like Jim Carrey. He's like my favorite actor.
No, I mean, I love
Besides
like
Shia
when
LaBeouf.
I was a kid, like fucking watched all of his movies.
all
you
of
know?
them, right? Even
But
the
it
bad
does-
ones.
Yeah, I don't. You know, when I saw that documentary, it really made me change the way I thought about him.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
I still
That
like
sucks,
him a
man.
lot.
I felt the same as you did, but I was like, you know what? Hopefully he's not that person again.
I mean, I can still
know.
enjoy his movie. I mean,
I'm talking about
yeah.
now as a filmmaker wise, like.
Yeah.
But I mean,
He stole the show. Like in this
Imagine
one, though?
having an asshole like that on set.
Fuck no. Like if I was making a movie, I wouldn't let that
God.
happen.
I know, like the
don't give
whole
a fuck who
Christian
you
Bale.
are,
Remember,
yeah.
like Christian Bale talking
Yeah.
shit to the guy? Like, come on, you're not gonna let that shit happen.
but I feel like he has the power at the time to like tell executives, I want him gone. Because I can't work with this guy. They could do it just because it's Jim Carrey.
Yeah, and that's the bad thing, right? That people
Yeah.
have that power, so they could act that way.
They
like
take advantage
that's
of it.
why it's not okay. Like,
I'm not saying it's
yeah,
okay, but I'm
yeah.
just saying, you know, like that's what it would happen.
Yeah.
We're all talking about
Sonic.
Anyway, this
But
was not a
overall,
Sonic
overall,
podcast.
Really fun movie. Take your kids to watch
It's
it.
like
And he's
Dr.
Jim Carrey.
Robotnik featuring Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, and then
Yeah.
another thing too, like if you like a little kid missed Jim Carrey as a you know we saw him as a little kid and
Yeah.
we saw him act this
Yeah.
way. Now these new kids could get to see him this
Okay.
way, so this is kind of fun.
Introducing a new generation.
The new
to Jim
generation
Carrey.
of the old Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
the fun Jim Carrey. that I
But
like.
how'd you guys feel about Cyclops, another actor?
Wait, which one's Cyclops?
I call him Cyclops because he plays Cyclops in the
His
X-Men
friend,
movies.
Sonic's friend, who
Yeah.
takes
Oh,
him.
okay.
Is he trying to play like a younger guy in this movie? Because is he not like his motherfucker 40?
He's older
I
than
don't
40 now.
know.
Because his girlfriend's like in her 20s or something. Because she's hot. And then you see him, he's just like
He's
in his
kind of hot
40s.
too, though, no?
Really, bro? You see, like, if you look at there's close-ups, he has white hair growing in his sideburns. I'm like,
Now you're old shaming people.
I'm just saying, he's been playing a young guy for almost 20 years in the industry.
He
He
didn't
always
bother
plays
me.
like soft characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't bother me that much.
To
though.
me, he's like a guy in a stock photo, you know? Like,
Yeah.
he
The ones that come with the frame.
yeah,
Oh, shit.
like that's
Yeah.
all he was. Like they got that guy.
Yeah.
He kind of came with the frame. You kept him. He
A
filled
guy
in
that-
the role.
he's
You
not
know,
gonna
That's a
steal
good
the
way to
show
put
or
it.
nothing.
it wasn't his movie. He was
Yeah.
just driving Sonic around. So whatever.
He was a
he
Uber
did what
driver.
he had to do.
He got outshined by a fucking little blue hedgehog.
Okay,
Nothing right here.
Yeah.
There's nothing here.
fine. I was
Fucking
just
tennis
wondering.
ball.
I was just wondering. It's because I've seen him in movies in like a good minute. And like,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, like, how old are you supposed to be in this movie? That's all. And another thing, talking about Sonic like plot holes, there's another thing I noticed. He could run up a building, right?
Oh,
He
Yeah.
can't run up a goddamn that one building. They need to get the
Yeah.
rings.
fucking easy.
Plot
Like,
hole.
all right, so before we end this, like, too, the Jim Carrey at the end. I don't want to spoil anything, but the way he looked and everything, isn't that kind of cool too?
It's really close to the material of the game actually. But in the game, he's fatter and bald. But in this
but
one,
maybe he gets fat because something happens.
that would be interesting. I would
Like
love to
He
see
eats
that.
all the mushrooms.
Yeah.
You know, like anything could
Oh,
happen. You know?
yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I would love to see him in a fat suit.
He looked good though.
You know what though? I always mix him up with the bad guy from Mega Man.
Oh yeah, with
Yeah.
Dr. Wily. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I always mix that up. Yeah.
And another thing I like to point out, that I really thought the director did a good job as a referencing the game, is when that part when Sonic falls with his ring scatters. It kind of reminds me when because in the game he gets hurt, and his ring scatters, and that got me like, oh, and it has that sound it makes, and like, I was that guy in the corner going, yeah, and the kids are like, what the fuck is he saying yeah about?
Yeah.
So we have all ins, 4-ins, sweeps.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Gio, go see this movie.
Gio, go see it. You'll love it. You love Jim Carrey, so you'll love it. Now we're gonna take a small break. We'll be right back.
Tell me who's in charge here?
I guess you've heard of Hank Quinlan, our local police celebrity.
What are you trying to do? We're trying to strap you to the electric chair. You framed that boy. Framed him!
This is Mrs. Vargas talking. I just wanted to make sure I wouldn't be disturbed.
Don't you worry, Mrs. Vargas. Nobody's going to get through to you. Unless I say so.
Are you telling me you never planted any evidence, Sergeant? Planting evidence. Framing suspect. That's a lie. I think I can prove it, Sergeant. What do I do?
Keep after him, break him. Break him! He's gonna leave this town wishing he and that wife of his had never been born. Where's my wife?
Captain, you won't have any trouble with me. You bet your sweet life I won't.
Touch of Evil, directed by and starring Orson Welles, also starring as Charlton Heston and Janet Leigh, who's known for Psycho.
And being Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, it's the same lady?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't recognize her. I know she was her mom, but I didn't
Yeah.
recognize her.
So it's basically a film noir movie. It comes around to like a murder that happens literally in the border of the United States and Mexico border. Yeah, a car bomb. And happened to be there is this very famous narc detective from Mexico, played by Charlton Heston, who figures out why this happened, working with a detective from the United States, played by Orson Welles, who's an asshole and racist.
Yeah.
So to me, I saw this in film school. My directing teacher showed us the movie because he wanted us to understand what a mise en scene is.
Oh, what?
Mise en scene.
What is that?
Basically, it is a scene if it's shot continuously in one take.
No, it's just anything that's in frame. So it's kind of how the frame is composed.
Basically. So it's the same way. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the opening, if you guys saw the movie, is like basically 3 minutes straight of and then it took almost the whole night.
Yeah.
And that's because of multiple retakes. But I bet my directing teacher, from what I remember, they practiced it a week prior. Just because they get the idea of how the car is going to go, how the people are going to walk, the donkeys, whatever, to make this fictional border of Mexico. And to make it more Mexican town / border of, from California, basically.
Those donkeys.
Of course, I'm a big fan of this movie. And I feel like a lot of things in this movie was ahead of its time for a noir movie. Back then it was frowned upon, and now it's like a big thing for future Hollywood movies. Especially this film influenced the movie L.A. Confidentials. So I actually saw that. Yeah, see, and I can see that too. So I don't know what you guys think. Robert, you go first.
I'm out.
Okay, that's fine.
When it started, you're talking about the opening tracking shot.
Yeah,
amazing. 1917 before 1917, right?
Mm-hmm.
The music, the composition, everything about fucking Orson Welles is a master, right?
Of course.
So I was super in for like the first, let's say like the first act, maybe. While they're setting up all the mysteries, they're setting up all the characters, but then it just got terribly uninteresting, and I just didn't know what was happening.
Okay.
Plot wise.
Okay, I'll explain that.
Yeah, and I was like, do I even care? And Orson Welles is a fucking master, right? But here's the thing. I think this is a master filmmaker doing mediocre script. And you get amazing shots, amazing composition, amazing cinematography, but story-wise, it wasn't really there for me.
It's really all over the place.
Yeah. So I'm out.
That's
sorry.
Fine. How about you, America?
I'm gonna have to go with Robert. I'm gonna be out. I want to be in because visually this is amazing. Stunning, and all the directing is great. Like everything, it's so good technically, except for the story. At least, in my books, it's just all over the place. It's so messy. I was telling Robert that we watched the first 18. Well, I've seen this in film school.
Oh, see.
So I remember it, but I also don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what the fuck happened in this movie. Even if I had finished it this time, I wouldn't know what the fuck happened in this movie, except for there was a bomb. The U.S. detective is a fucking racist.
Yeah.
The Mexican detective
Yeah.
is like
Mexican.
good at the man in brown face,
Yeah.
And it just, so that's why I'm out instead of deleting. Because if it didn't look good, this would be no, just
I get
completely out. But it was gorgeous.
Really? Well, thank you for your comment. What you, Ricardo?
Same thing. I saw it at school. Badass shot in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in right there. I was like, what the fuck? Whoa. Like, I was like, yes. All right.
With
like
the music and everything.
Yeah, and then I was like, dude, this is how you make a movie. Like, I was telling her, like, hey, look at this shit. See, look, this is real work, right? A real man's doing this shit. But then you see, there's a bunch of shit going down.
The story happens.
Yeah, and then, like, I see myself just go to the side, like, whoa, shit, my cats, and then, like, this is happening. I'm like, oh, shit.
When
and
is
like,
this gonna end?
Yeah, and then it keeps going, pause it, and it's like, whoa, 50 minutes left. Okay, whoa, shit. And I'll keep watching it. So I'm kind of like, you get lost a little bit on the story. There's a lot of brown face in there, and then so
little spray tans.
Yes, little spray tans in there. Little jabs of jokes in there
And
too.
fucking people talking like you imitate Mexicans.
Yeah,
but except it's actually
And they look
offensive.
like with their brown face. It looks like when Trump gets his tan.
Oh yeah. And the movie's black and white.
The movie's black and white.
Yeah, the movie's in black and white. So overall, I'm an out. I am.
That's all good, man.
Yeah, and I know there's an excuse because I read the beginning and it said why
there's,
it's
like,
out.
three
I did see that too.
There's three cuts.
I wondered which one I watched.
That's what I was gonna say too. Like, how do we know what version we watched? We probably watched the newest.
Yeah, so like
cut version, right?
Like even though that's what the reason it's like this, it doesn't like. That's not. That's an excuse or something, right? Like, why would it do? Like, that doesn't help.
From what I think, what we saw was the Universal's cut of it. I don't think it's Orson Welles because Orson Welles, of course, at a time when he finished filming this, he decided to work on something else, And Universal are very impatient and like, we're just gonna edit it on our own way. But of course, Universal edited it without him and fucked it up. So that's why there's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of.
But I think Universal actually went in because they reshot.
Oh yeah.
I think they probably went in and filled a lot of stuff. I can't imagine what it was missing before the reshoots and the re-edit. Because this movie, I don't know if you understood the first time, this second time. I don't know if it's like a blue velvet type of situation where you never understand what the fuck. Because it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it is actually.
That it's just kind of like it's like a flip book to me.
Here's the thing.
Like it's kind of disconnected, but it somehow makes a movie.
Here's the thing. Let's it got recut, whatever, reshot, but the basic story is. They bombed this car with some construction worker guy
from the border
from
Mexico.
Yeah, and Charlton Heston, Mexican, Orson Welles, American, trying to figure out what happened. Yeah. That's the story.
Yeah,
that's not interesting to me.
Yeah,
because it doesn't connect to anything, right?
No, to me the real story. Well, yeah, that's obvious. That's the story everyone understands. Yeah. But Orson Welles, U.S. detective. He's a racist who's been planting evidence. To kind of like, what the fuck? Why it wasn't interesting? It wasn't. I don't know.
It's just not very compelling.
I understand why they would show it in school though. Like they would not show it for story. They would show it for like the visual.
How to direct the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because when I was watching, especially like the opening scene, it reminded me a lot of a movie that I love, Munich. The way Spielberg staged his shots, right, and all those scenes, very similar, right? They're setting up all the characters, all the action. Dope. Fucking brilliant. That's what I mean. You have a brilliant filmmaker making if Orson Welles hadn't directed this movie, we would be lost.
Yeah.
In fucking time.
Nobody would.
Right? With this story.
Yeah.
And he wasn't supposed to direct it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why the story's so weak.
He wasn't supposed to direct it. He was supposed to star in it, and then I guess Charlton Heston signed up thinking he was going to direct it, and that's why Universal was like...
they saw the script, and they were like, I can't do shit with this.
Yeah, they're like, I don't understand this. Give it back.
The only way to make this interesting is to have the best director ever make
just
it.
Do this shit. And he made it pretty, so it looks pretty.
Oh, yeah, the visuals are amazing.
Here's what it is. It's like if Spielberg or fucking Tarantino directed like some... stupid ass Steven Seagal movie, like from the 90s. That's what they would. But they would make the story's so bad.
Yeah, but they would make it look good.
It's like if fucking Tarantino directed Cobra.
Oh my fucking god!
Like it would be badass stylistically, right?
For sure.
But story, you'd be like, what the fuck? Is this?
Fuck.
And then Charles. Okay, I know they blackfaced him and everything, and I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't like it because of that reason. Because there are movies that I like that do that. But just from a storytelling aspect, he goes into like places and he speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
And he clearly cannot speak Spanish. And they don't even work it into the story. Like that takes you out.
I think that's because back in the day, like brown people, like people who aren't white didn't exist in movies, like just completely forgotten. So when you see someone speaking Spanish, like you have to believe that they speak Spanish. It's kind of
but
like
when he himself is struggling,
I know, but it's like the Latino movies from the 90s where they're like, "Tengo frío, I'm cold." Like they just fucking repeat themselves, and to us that's annoying because we understand it the first time. Why don't they just put a fucking subtitle on it? But that's true, or Salma Hayek in Desperado and Antonio Banderas. Fucking love that movie, and I love their relationship. But why do they speak English? They can't speak English.
And even in this movie, the Mexicans would switch back and forth. And be like, "Hey, señor, can you come over here?"
But that's the thing.
But it's normal. That's just what you get.
Yeah. I know, but being the master storyteller that Orson Welles is, right? He's not some hack. He wants authenticity, right? That takes the audience out of it.
What do you think they'll cast a Desi Arnaz?
Oh,
hey, there's a bomb in the room. Lucy, did you put the bomb in the door?
Shit, I would have taken that over.
Oh shit, me too.
¿Dónde está el bomba?
Hey, but they have the Mexicans like, "Hey, señor."
Yeah. But that's true though. At the time, who's watching this? It's just white people. So whatever they hear is probably like, "Oh, that's how they sound," So
I guess you're
true,
right.
But Charlton Heston is struggling to say the word.
Dude,
like he's physically struggling.
They didn't stop. Well, that's another thing because I guess they were doing those long shots. They couldn't even fix that. They were just like, "Oh, fuck it."
But they should have made him like say it like phonetically, like not try to say the actual word. Like alfombra. Have him clap it out.
what I just remembered right now, which is unrelated to this, but is related to Sonic. Jim Carrey says something in like some Asian language just out of nowhere. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
That was hilarious, though.
Anyway.
I wouldn't blame you guys. You guys are right. I know there's moments. Well, no, there's not moments. There's a lot of moments. Well, majority of the movie, like a white person trying to be Latino, especially like, Señora, he's trying to tell you. I'm like, motherfucker, I heard you the first time.
Yeah.
I get you.
That doesn't bother me so much, but it's when they switch. It's like, well, why didn't you just do that? Like, it's like, Señora, come over here. It's like, where? What do you? Let's just go all in on one or the other.
It's more. Right? What was I gonna say? Oh, but have you ever seen the classic Orson Welles movie,
Citizen Kane?
Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
You know what? Sadly to say, no, I haven't.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
You should watch that. If you like this, definitely watch that.
The majority reason I love this is because of the shots, like you said. They
oh, dude,
Citizen Kane.
That's done right.
I know.
That's like where he started.
Badass.
He basically revolutionized the film industry.
I know it's so good that my film school couldn't rent it out anymore because everyone kept reserving it every fucking day. So I never got a chance. I was like, oh, when can I rent this?
Oh, so you got the mediocres there. That's what's up.
They were like, oh, we only have one copy and it's reserved throughout the whole year. Why can't I get kind of see in 2012? No, in 2022. And I'm like, this is 2012, man. What the fuck?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a joke, motherfucker. It wasn't serious, but I get you. But you know what? My one question is I want to ask you guys: how did you feel about the hotel scene? The one when all the people went into the room. That sense of eerie, the sense of like
the 8-minute famous like.
No. I'm talking about the scene when like the Janet Leigh's trying to like freaking take a nap, or whatever in the hotel. Like everyone keeps fucking with her.
Oh.
And then they go into the room.
I was like, what is happening? Why?
What is
why
going
is
on?
happening?
Yeah.
Why is
I don't
happening?
even remember that. Why?
When they're playing the music, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the scene is when like they finally like the gang go into her room and they surround her. Like the lighting in that room, like the way like the shadow, they play with the shadow.
Yeah.
And then the one girl comes in and is like, I just want to watch.
Yeah.
That's great. That scared the fuck out
of me. I mean,
me.
stylistically, it's brilliant. The cinematography is brilliant.
But you know what? At the time, that was frowned upon because, you know what Orson was trying to do, right? He's trying to make it seem like she got raped.
Yeah.
Not just, like they planted drugs and like make her. No, it was a rape scene.
Yeah.
That was very frowned upon. And again, it was a film scene ahead of its time. Because of course in the 50s you had to be too goody or at least
he
like
invented rape.
No, I'm sorry.
He showed it without showing it.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to get at. I wasn't trying to say that at all. Now
I
feel like an asshole now.
No,
Thanks.
Stylistically, everything that he does is fucking brilliant, right? Like, but I just didn't care what was happening.
So basically, any answer to any question you're gonna ask is style.
Yeah,
style.
It's the ultimate style over substance. Yeah. Right.
That's how good he is, though. If you could get something bad and still make it look pretty, like.
That's what I'm saying. Like Quentin Tarantino could do it, right? Yeah. He just never does.
I thought it was. I forgot what this movie was, and I thought it was gonna be the one that he wrote, and I don't know if he didn't finish shooting it. If the studio he couldn't get enough money, maybe because of this movie. No, he died.
No,
he died making the other one.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's
that
a movie
one, because now there's a documentary on Netflix about it, which is like super cool. So I thought we were gonna watch that movie, which I know they like kind of finished for him, but
yeah, maybe later, but no, that wasn't it. Sorry, you got the other one, the other one. Oh yeah, 3 outs and 1 in. Damn it, Gino.
I mean, I'm glad I watched it. It's like,
for sure.
It definitely is like if you're into directing, if you're ever gonna do that, this is must watch because it's. How to stage a movie 101.
That's true. No, I agree. That's why I'm very happy that my directing teacher showed me this.
Yeah, and if you're like a professor.
But it feels like a movie you have to watch in school.
Yeah, or if you're a professor, if I was a professor, I would show it on YouTube and be like, here's this scene, here's that scene.
Exactly. I wouldn't go full movie, because I did that. I watched the full movie, then I watched it again, like, I just want to see these shots. Because, but not like, now I get it. Okay, I get you. Tune in next time we'll watch Emma and Gio's pick, which is Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Well, tune in next time. Please don't forget to follow us on Instagram, InOutDelete Reviews, one word, and at Twitter at InOutDelete. Well, good night.
Thank you for listening. Please exit the podcast and don't forget to collect all your belongings and young children. We hope you enjoyed listening and have a great rest of your day here at In Out Delete.
This has been a podcast presentation from the Zenith Corporation, working for a better tomorrow for all of mankind.